Hello everybody, my name is Jennifer Maker and this is the Great Maker Show and Tell. So today we are making paper Christmas trucks with a surprise. And no, the surprise is not that there's a strange man standing next to me. No, this strange man is Greg. Greg is my guy, he's my knight in shining armor, and he is the designer of today's craft.
Hello.
So I thought it would be awesome if he came on and talked with us about how he made it, his inspiration for it, tips for making it, and everything like that.
Well, for the last few years, I've been aware that there have been little holiday trucks with the Christmas trees, the little red trucks, and I thought, well, you know, I'm still kind of new to the Cricut machine, so this is like my third or fourth project, I think, actually. But I decided I wanted to do one of these holiday trucks, but I decided to do a different take on that, and that's I made a earlier style truck. And I do a lot of little scale modeling stuff, so I had this little 1930s, 40s era Phantom.
He paints miniatures, guys. Miniatures.
Yeah, small scale stuff. So I decided I wanted to model a truck after that. So do
you have the truck with you?
Oh, yeah, he's actually right here. This really little
awesome.
Guy.
So it's like 30s and 40s?
Yeah, something about that. A little German Phantom truck, so...
Which is super awesome.
It's cute and it's got fenders on it, so I thought that's kind of what you want to do.
The little doors actually open if you want them to. There's a wreath on the front. There's a Christmas tree on the back. It has like a little bumper and everything. And of course, it has a super awesome surprise. You want to show them the surprise?
Oh, sure.
Ta-da! Isn't that awesome? So there are LED lights in there, and in the cargo of the pickup, whatever we call the box on the truck.
The truck bed.
The truck bed, that's it. There's the battery pack for the LED lights. So, and all of the windows and the grill and the little headlamps, I'll hold this up so you can see it. It's all vellum, so you can see the light shining through. And it's a battery pack, so if it goes out, we can replace it. So that's a big deal. So this is super cool. So we're going to put one together so you can see what it looks like. What you're going to need is, so this is what we picked. This is the paper that Greg picked. I will rephrase that. So we used this really cool red foil textured cardstock, the same cardstock I used for the poinsettia. It's beautiful. It's not quite so easy to glue, just so you know, but it looks amazing, right?
And trucks, you know, they're shiny, red, you know.
It does look really good. It was a good choice.
Yeah.
And metallic cardstock we used for the tires and the truck bed, and then vellum for the windows. Now remember, if you don't have vellum, you can use wax paper or parchment paper. So, and those are really easy to come by. All right, awesome. Oh, glue. We should talk about glue.
Yeah,
what kind of glue do we need to make this?
Well, I mean, I was kind of following your lead originally, so I was like, oh, well, we're doing paper craft, so let's try this Scotch brand tacky glue here.
That's the glue I usually use.
Yeah, and
glue, right?
At first I was like, it's thick. I was like, you know, it's got a good... it was tacky. It felt like it'd do a good job. It did not do a great job. Just trying to do the tires, like it seemed like it was taking 5-10 minutes for it to start to adhere at all. So
right, it's because we're using foil paper and metallic paper, and that stuff doesn't really work well with glue. Right. So you know, yeah.
She was very adamant about me needing to be patient and wait for it, but I was like, wow, no, why would I do that? We have super glue in the house, so we just sorted through a drawer and found this is actually the Loctite super glue.
Yeah, so we use super glue, guys.
Oh, it's so much better. I know it gets on your fingers and it's terrible, but I use super glue all the time. That's my go-to. So.
And we used hot glue to put the wheels on, because you need those to be really strong, because it's holding up the whole truck, right? Yeah. All right, awesome. All right, well, let's put this together. So to get started, go to jennifermaker.com to get the vintage red truck SVG file and pattern it and all that stuff. You'll find it in my free resource library. And, you know, it's like you can search on this page for it. And once you got it, download it, unzip it, and then head on over to Cricut Design Space and click on New Project. And then click on Upload. click Upload Image, click Browse, and find that SVG file in that opened our zip archive. So make sure it says SVG on it, and then click Open. Give it a minute to upload. This is what it looks like. Click Save. Might take a little bit to upload it. It's a fairly big file. There it is. So click on it and click Insert Images. So here it is on our canvas, and there's just a couple things that you need to do to prepare it. Okay, so all of these layers here that have the white circle with the red line through it, those are score layers. And you're going to need to be setting those to score and then attaching them to the base layer. Okay, and I'll explain how to do that. Begin by ungrouping the entire, the whole project. Now, the layers you need to set are at the top. So click on those score layers and then click Score. And then click both those layers and then click Attach down at the bottom. Okay, so you're going to do that for the other two layers that have that same score layer. So you change it to Score, and then you select both that score layer and the layer just below it, and you click Attach. And then we're going to do it one more time. So you click the score layer and change it to Score, and then you're going to want to click both those two layers and then click Attach. There we go. Now it's all ready. That's it. That's all you have to do. You do have to do those things or it won't work right. Okay? But when it's ready, click Make It. And then Cricut Design Space sorts everything into your mat. So there's our brown mat and our yellow mat, the two green mats for the Christmas tree. You could do them the same color if you wanted to. The black mat for the tires and the red for most of the truck. And it's all ready to go. And you just select your Cricut and then click Browse All Materials. And depending on what material you'll want to use, but I'm choosing medium cardstock and then changing my pressure to more. And that's all I need to do to make this work. Now, let me show you what it looks like to put together. So these are all of the pieces all cut out. There's our brown pieces, our red pieces, everything. So let's move everything out of the way. And we're going to start with our first piece, which is this one here. It's got these long cuts in it. So separate everything out just like this. And what you're going to do is you're going to, if you scored it, there'll be score lines. You need to fold everything on the score lines, just as I'm doing here. So this piece is the, what would we call this? I don't know car terms. This is the base layer, essentially. It's going to become the frame, and those bits there, you're going to you're going to move the score line up to where you see the first little arrow, just like I'm doing right here. We put these arrows in to help you see where you have to kind of push them up. And you want to look just like this because you're creating the fenders of the truck when you do this. So you're going to do the same thing at the bottom. Push that line up, and the score line goes right there, that arrow. And I'm taping it down because that's really the best way. You could, of course, tape it from the bottom. There you go. This is what it looks like. So this is the chassis, maybe? I don't know what that's called. Okay, the next piece is this is a secondary base layer that strengthens it. And it has folds on all four sides plus two additional folds that kind of like create like a tab for you to glue it to your chassis. I hope that's the right term. The bottom base layer. So you're folding up everything just like this, and you're going to glue the corners down. Now, as we mentioned, tacky glue is less than ideal when you're dealing with foils and metallic cardstocks. It did work for me with some patients, so it is possible. But just so you know, keep that in mind. Okay, so make sure those tabs there are folded down because that's what you're going to use to glue it to your base. So once everything is in place, you're going to put some glue right along. Those two didn't glue so well. They need some more glue. See? Patience. All right, so we're going to glue right here and then you're going to put it onto your base, and you want it to line up the back with the back edge. So the left side is the front bumper, and then the back is the back. Okay, so next piece is the truck bed. So you fold everything as I'm showing you to do here. And then it's going to fold into essentially a box with a big hole in the bottom. So each of these flaps gets folded in and glued to the side. So here's our truck bed, and what you're going to look for is the section that has sort of an indent, and that's the one that goes towards the front. And right now the front is on the right side of the screen. Everything in the back is flush, right? So, and this is what it should look like. You'll see that I went right over that wheel bed, fender, whatever we call that, the fender. And in the front, it's sort of open there, and I'll explain why later. And then this is the truck liner. It's what we're going to use to cover up the LED lights, the battery pack. And if you don't use an LED battery pack, it just goes in here just like this to cover up all the red bits. So it's very simple. You don't even have to glue it down. In fact, I'd recommend you don't, because if you decide to use the battery pack, you'll want to empty. So, okay, so it's time to put our vellum onto our various parts. So this is the windshield vellum. Just put a tiny little bit of glue around the edge there. All right, and then this is the side of the truck, and it has vellum over the door. And I do it so that you could open the door and just see vellum, so you don't actually see inside. You can do this any way you want to, but I did it this way because I'm using those LED lights, and I wanted to make sure that I was diffusing all of the light so that it had a warm glow rather than a harsh bulbs or whatever. So that's why we also cover up the radiator area. I don't know what we would call these little lines here. You can tell I'm really great with vehicles. I'm sure Greg would know exactly what this was called, but he's not here right now for me to ask. He designed all of this, but I'm assembling it for you so that I can explain to you how it works. So we just do the same thing. We put the vellum on the other side as well, so that we have it covering up all of our empty places. Of course, if you're not putting in an LED light, you don't have to do this part if you don't want. Okay, and then also the front grille has some vellum as well. So we put the glue on the back of the white piece, and we put the vellum on top of that, and then the whole white piece with the vellum goes on top of the front part of the truck. And then fold that tab down at the bottom as well. Okay, so now it's time to fold the main part of our truck. So it has tabs on the sides, on the roof sides and the hood side, and the windshield gets folded at the top of the windshield. It's kind of a double fold, so it sort of overhangs a little bit like that. So I'm going to fold this and then show you so that you can see how it's folded. So it's going to look like that when you're done folding it. And so that little bit that is the overhang on the windshield, we're going to glue that down so it stays in place and it doesn't want to just pop up and look weird, because it's just supposed to hang out just a bit, just like a real truck. It's got that little extension, at least vintage trucks do, just like that. See? All right. So now we need to get our sides on, and the sides have two tabs, one on the front and one on the back. And this is probably pretty self-explanatory, but we want to glue the sides to this, the hood and roof assembly using the tabs on both pieces. So we're going to put a little glue on this one, and then a little glue on the tab of the side as well. It helps to hold it against a surface, right, when you're applying pressure. And then glue the other side as well. This is what it looks like on the inside. All right, and then you need to glue the hood to the sides as well. There we go. And then we put the grill on, just a little glue on either of those tabs in the front, and the grill goes on. And there we go. We have our cab assembled. Looks pretty awesome. Greg did a great job on this. All right, so the cab goes right on the front of the truck, and it's got these tabs, and we're going to use the tabs to attach it permanently, right? First, let's put on some of the truck bed has a little decorations. It's these little wood supports that are on the side of it. You can use them if you want, or skip them if you'd like to. Okay, so this is what it looks like right now. You can see in the front, it's still, those two sections are still sort of loose there. It should be like that. We're going to glue those down later. So there's the truck and the truck bed. But, oh, one more thing to do. We need to put that little decorative strip down the front of the hood, just like our real vintage truck. All right, so if you're going to do the LEDs and battery pack, you want to fold up your LEDs so they're in a bundle like this. Put your battery pack in the cargo area, and try to manage that cord a bit. And then the cord comes through the bottom, and then all the lights go into the cab, just like this. Tuck everything in there. See, that looks pretty good, right? And make sure that cord is in there as much as you can get it. And then we're going to glue the cab to the chassis. Okay, there we go. Now you can just take that truck liner and put it right over your battery pack. Isn't that cool? So whenever you need to get into it, you would just open that up to turn your battery on and off. The only thing left on the truck are the tires. So this is what a tire looks like, and you just fold in all these little things that look like zigzags. You fold all those in. Those are all the little tabs. There's quite a few of them. Just fold them all in. Fold up the wheels, and then you fold and glue the circles to the tabs. So here's a finished wheel, and we're going to put on our hubcap and then our white rim. And you'll want to do this for all 4 tires, so that then we can put them onto our truck. So here's our tires, and we're going to use a hot glue gun for this. So you just put glue right there under that fender. Make sure that, so you'll notice the tire has like a sort of flat area. You want that to be on the bottom. There we go. Looks pretty cool, doesn't it? I love what you can make with paper. I think it's missing something though. We need a Christmas tree in the back, don't we? That's the quintessential look. A vintage red truck with a Christmas tree in the back. So first, I made a little wreath, and we're going to just glue the wreath onto the front of the truck right by the grill there. If you would like to, you can do that, of course. And then the Christmas tree is simple. All it is a series of cones. So just glue up the cones. Hot glue worked much better for these cones. Don't bother with the tacky glue. Then you just stack all of the cones on top of each other from biggest to smallest. And there we go. Our truck is all finished. Isn't it super cute? I am so happy with this. I think it looks great. I think Greg did an awesome job. I am super grateful that he designed a project for us. Okay, so that was a fairly serious papercraft project. I wouldn't call this a beginner project. However, if you are a beginner, you just got your Cricut and you want to do this, by all means do it. My first project was not what anyone would consider to be easy either, but just you need to be patient, and it will take just a little extra time to do, right?
And I would say a lot of the difficulty was in the designing, test fitting. I didn't go off of any other design, so I just kind of tried to match the shape of that. So a lot of our difficulties with that. But once we had that down, I was surprised how quickly it went together, and we the exception of the issues with the glue and getting everything to stick together.
The glue is the hardest part,
Yeah.
I would say. And that's what really took the most time because we were waiting for glue to dry. So if you just skip the tacky glue and go right for the
super glue,
the super
You
glue,
go straight for the super glue.
or use hot glue, but be careful, right? It'll probably go quicker for you. Yeah. Anything else that we need to tell them about? Anything other tips?
Well, when it comes to glue, obviously, I'm sure everybody knows, you get that stuff on your fingers, and anything you touch instantly has those little fingerprints on there, or you'll pull away the paper. I mean, it's just paper, really. So
Right.
you really got to, if you are going to use a stronger adhesive like that, you have to really watch it. Take your time with that.
Yeah.
A lot of this, it's to adhere something. You need the proper adhesive, and you need pressure and patience. Well, when you rest in your hand on something, it's so easy to get that stuff on there, your palm and forget about it. And
Yeah.
you had a few little hiccups here and there where
So like this metallic paper, if you get any glue on it, it instantly changes like the sheen of it. So if you're gonna go with metallic paper, just keep in mind that it's like finicky. Right? It's hard to glue, and it shows every single little thumbprint and every little glue drip. On the other hand, the foil metallic, this red foil doesn't show anything. There's probably glue all over this, but I can't see it. So there you go. And actually, I think that looks pretty amazing. And I know everyone will ask me where I got this paper from, and I found it at Michael's, and it's sold by the sheet. So, and there is a link to it below the video if you want to find it.
And another thing about this is a lot of this metallic stuff, it's metallic on both sides, so the adhesive really wouldn't hold to that. But this foil, while I didn't want to grip to the face of it, the back is actually like much more traditional, so glue stuck to that just
Right.
fine.
Yeah. So this is actually pretty awesome paper. I really like
it is very
It's
nice.
very pretty. It's very pretty paper, right? All right, awesome. So, tomorrow's project, you've been asking me how to apply vinyl to a mug. So we talked about how to apply vinyl to a curved surface with an ornament. Tomorrow we're going to do mugs, right? So awesome. These are make great personalized presents. And with Christmas coming up, it's perfect timing for that. So I'm excited about doing that. And remember to send me your project ideas at jennifermaker.com/show-and-tell. And remember, if you can tell me what you want to make, I can show you how to make it. Until tomorrow.